was a lot to talk about with version 1.2, and I mean a lot. Because honestly, it started out really slow, and then that live stream turned into balls to the wall, so many great things coming out. And honestly, that's what we're gonna talk about today, because I couldn't put it into words, to be quite honest. It was really tough for me to put into words what I was feeling, and you can see it in the video for the reaction. But I really wanted to take an in-depth dive into what we talked about in version 1.2. So that's what we're here for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, leave a comment about what you think about today's video. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. First off, I gotta say that this picture that you see right here of Kafka is the best way to start an article. Big shout out to Dexerto. I usually use them for information of what I need to get for really anything, and honestly, they did really well with this little showcase here, as you can see. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in first. Of course, we know that we got some redeemable codes. That's whatever to that. So we know that this update is coming out July 19th. So we got about, as of this recording and probably the release of this video, 8 days until we get, you know, this whole shebang-a-bang, and I can't wait. 1.2 looks like it's going to be awesome, so I'm pretty excited. The biggest, well, not really the biggest thing, but we got the banner details, right? And we already kind of know about these banners in general. I'll be doing a Should You Summon next week on Blade, because that's going to be the first Phase 1 banner, or just the Phase 1 banner in general, with the 4 stars Arlan, Sushang, and Natasha. I think that's a pretty good lineup, but we'll go more in depth a little bit later on. Second phase for 1.2 is going to be Kafka. No shock there. But we're also going to be getting the new 4-star Luocha, who is going to be, I believe it was Physical Nihility, which is pretty crazy. Like, I can't wait to actually go in depth with him. I definitely want to look into his kit a little bit more before I give a really big, like, you know, thumbs up. But he looks really cool. I like the contrast, or not really contrast, but I like the combination of Physical and Nihility. Physical in Honkai is a lot different from Genshin, so we'll leave it at that. Plus Serval and Sampo, 2 really good units in general to put in there. One being free to play. You can get her at any time, I believe, at one point, so it is what it is. But Serval, with a little bit of extra stuff on her, does pretty well. Now, the next thing that was talked about are these new relics, and this is part of the what was it? It doesn't say right here the specific of where it is. It's like the thing of corrosion or something like that. I can't remember what exactly the event is called, but it's basically the 30 Trailblazer power to get relics. They're the artifact domains of Honkai Star Rail. Now, as you can see here, this first artifact set, the Longevous Disciple, the 2-piece increases maximum HP, and then the 4-piece, when the wearer is hit or their HP is consumed by an ally, including by themselves, their crit rate increases for a certain number of turns. This effect is stackable. Now that's crazy to think about, is that every time you are hit and your HP is consumed, or it's consumed by an ally, or at least I believe that's, yeah, if the wearer is hit or their HP is consumed by an ally. That's a pretty big set. I honestly think that this set might go with, I believe it does go with Blade a little bit, but I don't know. I have to really like look into the set a little bit more, but it seems pretty broken for characters that are going to be consuming their own HP, or an ally is going to be taking HP from them, or, you know, is probably going to get hit. Now, Messenger Traversing Hackerspace. The 2-piece increases speed, which is dope because I believe this is the first speed set that we're getting. And then the 4-piece, when the wearer uses their ultimate or an ally, or any ally, or on any ally, sorry. My apologies, I'm very tired. When the wearer uses their ultimate on any ally, including on themselves, speed of all allies increases for a certain number of turns. This effect cannot be stacked. Now, that's huge, because any character can use that set, and it's going to be a benefit to your team. So you need somebody who's going to benefit from the speed itself. Probably someone maybe like Bronya will probably benefit from that pretty well. Silver Wolf. So there's plenty of options out there. I don't think that's going to be a set. To clarify, I don't think that this is going to be the set that goes on Silver Wolf or Bronya. I'm just saying that it's a possibility. I'd have to dive deeper into what this set can do for certain characters and what character it's going to be used for. Now, this just goes more in depth with it. Let's see. We did get the ornament set Broken Keen as well. And this is from the Simulated Universe update where we're actually getting World 7, which is huge. We're getting a new world. The ornament set Broken Keen increases the effect resistance by a certain amount. Apart from that, if the wearer's effect resistance is above a certain amount, then the overall crit damage of the party is enhanced. That's big. That is really, really big, especially if you're needing a character with that effect resistance. It's gonna work out in your favor. So, now, we also got Rutilient Arena. It enhances the crit rate of the wearer. It also enhances their attack and skill damage once the former crosses a certain threshold. Those are going to be the sets that come out with World 7. So, I'm guessing from what it looks like, with every new addition to the worlds in Simulated Universe, we're gonna get new artifact sets. So that's pretty cool. Now, we're getting into the interesting thing because this made me giggle like a 10-year-old in school. I'm just saying. Like a 10-year-old who just found out about boobies, okay? That's just how this was. So first things first, we got new enemies. These are the bigger enemies. The Malefic Ape, which is, as it's said, an ape. The Ascended, which is basically like the boss, or not the mini boss, but like when you go into Simulated Universe and you have the elite enemy that you go against, and she has the like spinny rod and does all that cool stuff. That is a what's it called? The alternate version of her, basically. The version that is affected with the disease over in where everybody's at the moment. I have a very bad way of explaining this, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's basically the version of that. And we also get Yaquing as an elite battle thingy. So these characters, or these enemies, are going to be joining Simulated Universe World 7, which is really cool. I think that's really dope. Then, of course, we're getting this lady right here, as you can see, and that is Ventelia the Undying. This boss has 3 different modes, and it's basically the weekly boss for Echoes of War. Now, the reason why I'm laughing is because literally you hit her in the titties. That's what was so funny to me. And you see like Danheng just hitting her as hard as he can. It's just so funny. But this is gonna be the boss that drops materials for Blade, Kafka, and Luca. Highly recommend that you get those done. You're definitely gonna need to, especially if you want to level up Blade and Kafka and Luca. I just said that. Moving on. Now, let's talk about the events, because the events are what really killed it. First things first, this was announced like lastly, but this is huge news in general. We're getting 10 free polls. Okay? Let that sink in for a second. There we go. Time's up. 10 free polls in 1.2. Now, some people might look at that and be like, 10 free polls when 75 is, you know, pity, and then hard pity is at 90? That's nothing. But think about it like this. That is more than what Genshin has given us. Every update so far in Honkai Star Rail, we have been given 10 free polls. Now, I think Genshin could take a page out of this book. Yeah, I think they could. This was hype. I could not believe that they were doing it for the 3rd time in a row. And honestly, it looks like every update we get, we're getting 10 free polls. I'm not complaining. Free polls is free polls. And I think that everybody should understand that. Now, as we move on, there's a couple of different events that we got. There's Tales of the Fantastic. During this event, a storyteller called Mr. Zayan in the Starskiff Heaven will narrate the stories of the Trailblazer on how they saved the Lofu. Pretty self-explanatory. I think this, like, from what I understand, this event is going to have like different trial characters that you can use. So, yeah. The 3rd event that players will partake in is Underground Treasure Hunt. This event will take place in the Belobog, where the Trailblazer will be delving into the ancient ruins of the Great Mines. So a treasure hunting event. I think that's pretty dope. Fourth event, Where Are You, Mystery Trotter? In this event, the scientist named Regin has come across a new device that seems to be giving readings. Dexerto, hire me as a, English, like, I may not be able to speak it, but I'm telling you right now. Regin has come across a new device that seems to be giving off readings about a mysterious trotter. So this is going to be where you have to defeat the trotters and gain rewards, which I think is pretty dope. The mystery trotters have been getting a lot of like screen time, in my personal opinion, especially now that we can see random trotters in the overworld, which is dope. Forgotten Hall is getting a refresh as well, and we're getting a free copy of Yukong when you beat the first section. That's insane to me, because Yukong is good. People are like, oh, but I'd probably rather use Tingyu. Yukong works pretty dang good. So, getting a free Yukong, that's a win to me. And then, of course, lastly, Planner Fisher will return to give double planner ornaments alongside Realm of the Strange, which will give double relic rewards. I think that doing this type of stuff is great. Honkai Star Rail is a very grindy game. I thought that Genshin was grindy, but I could do one day of Genshin grinding and be perfectly like, okay. But I feel that Honkai Star Rail's grinding is a lot worse. So these double events, I will be taking advantage of every single time. And then of course, lastly, as we see right here, we are getting new companion missions with Yukong and Kafka. Now, why I'm so excited for that is it's two of my favorite characters so far with companion missions. I'm so stoked. I'm so happy about it, and I can't wait. I'm super pumped about it, but that was a lot. And again, I didn't explain a lot of stuff well. Like I probably could have done better about what this was, like where you're gonna get these relics. It's the relic domains basically, and I probably could have been better about explaining these relics. But overall, version 1.2 is looking crazy, bro. It looks so insane, and this was the overall image. We're gonna see like Danheng's 5-star Imbibitor Luna. That's freaking dope. We're gonna be seeing like Fushou in this, obviously, or Fusion Ha. But this boss looks absolutely dope. We're gonna get more stuff with Welt. I can't wait. It looks absolutely sick, and really, that's all I can say. I just can't wait for 1.2. I will say this. I did see a post from Sip Stefan, and it was talking about how people are quitting Honkai Star Rail, and that might be another video for another time, but I want to quickly touch up on that. I think 1.2 is going to be that time for players to come back, get more of the story, get new weekly boss, farm some new relics, and people are going to start enjoying Honkai Star Rail again. So, that's what I think. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking about with 1.2. Now that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We will be back again with another Honkai Star Rail video very soon. But again, guys, as always, thank you so much. Love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Please take care and be safe.